Welcome in, IllinoisPrep.com. Eric Seals alongside Skylar King, and it's time for the playoffs. But first, a Week 9 recap. As always, at Eric iPrep, at Skylar iPrep. Got Wheaton South fans giving me a hard time on Twitter for picking the Falcons.
What a surprise.
Of course, the Eric Seals wasn't mentioned in that harassment. I don't know what happened. But quick recap of the games that weren't the Wheaton games. Batavia becomes the #1 seed in 6A. They beat Streamwood, who's going to be a 14 seed in 7A. And they've been dominant all year, 49-6 win for Batavia. We both had that one, because otherwise we'd both be 1-4. Because Marist, a 5 seed in 8A, beat Joliet Catholic, a 4 seed in 5A, 56-1. Marist really has gotten the passing game going. Woodworth has been, who do you think he is? Malcolm Weaver the last couple weeks?
Might be.
Because he's been unbelievable. Providence, well, our Celtics showing signs of life at the end of the year. They're going to get a 9 seed in 7A, and beat Mount Carmel, who's going to get a 7 seed in 8A, 24-18. The Catholic Blue is nuts this year.
Of course.
And then, of course, somebody picked St. Rita around here, but the Ramblers, undefeated in the Catholic Blue. With a 1 seed in 8A, Rita gets a 3 seed in 7A, 34-7 for the Ramblers. Loyola, an unbelievable regular season, but of course, if they don't do it in the playoffs,
it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Getting back to that Wheaton game, to me, this was almost like the Glenbard North game, except more dominant.
Yep.
Wheaton North did not look like they expected to win.
No.
They started to make a little push there in late in the first half, but then that pick 6 sealed it.
Yeah, you could feel the air in the stadium just be depleted. Coming out and checking out the game, I felt like, number one, we said this is the time where Wheaton North has to say, stop being the little brother.
Yeah.
Come in, take over Wheaton Warrenville South. And
run the table in conference.
Run the table in conference. And at the beginning of the game, I felt like they were really confident. As soon as that pick 6 came, they hit halftime, and it was just, you could just see it.
Well, they
on
scored.
their face.
They got to stop. They get the ball back. And then, whoops, Dan Rodman stepped in front of 132 yards of the house.
Huge.
And they ran off the field, and it was almost like the shoulders were sagging.
Exactly.
It was not good. And Vital, 58 carries, killing the clock.
Wow.
I kept saying, I was like, why aren't there 11 guys in the box?
I don't know.
Make them throw the ball.
But he is definitely a very hard runner.
He's a workhorse, for sure.
Anybody who can tote the rock that many times for the game definitely gets my vote, especially for being a running back. You definitely get, a big 2 thumbs up for me, because they were just going to him every single time, and he was doing what was necessary. He was holding on to the ball. He was doing a good job. The quarterback, the sophomore quarterback, was.
I was going to bring that up.
Yep.
Mr. Graham, Ray Graham. Nothing spectacular, but it was one of those where Thaddeus gets hurt, and he's got a busted rib. May be able to go if they advance far enough in the playoffs.
Exactly.
But when you just get that 1 week of practice in, he did start last week, but this was his first full week of practice where he knew he was going to be the starter. We talked to Ron Muhich after the game. He knows that they need to be able to open it up more, because he said you can't run Vitality 35 times in the playoffs.
But Graham, coming in as sophomore quarterback, I think he did a fantastic job running the team. He didn't lose it for the team. He did a great job. So, Wheaton South.
Yeah. Conference champs.
Conference champs.
Again.
On a so-called down year, conference champs.
Yeah. Not good if you're DVC team, and this is supposed to be a down year, and Wheaton South's still taking it home. When we come back, we're going to combine this with the top 10 show. And what a shakeup, just when we thought we should know more about these teams. Seems like we know less when we come back here to IllinoisPrep.com. Welcome back in, IllinoisPrep.com. The new top 10, a lot of shakeup, and even up at the top. But we start at number 10, Maple Park, Canelan. The first appearance for them in our rankings, 9-0. They beat Morris, who was one of our On the Verge teams, 31-28 at Morris, and this is a huge win for them.
Big win. I think you're going to see both of these teams. They're going to be doing some big things in the playoffs. Canelan represented in 5A, #1 seed.
Yep. Morris also the other 1 seed.
The other 1 seed, so they might match up again.
But to me, the biggest thing for this victory isn't the conference title. It's that in round 2, Morris has to see JCA and Canelan doesn't.
Yep.
So
thank you, IHSA, for that one.
Our number 9 team, St. Rita, they lose their first game in state of the year. They're 7-2. You know, they got a 3 seed in 7A, but Loyola just blew them out of the water.
Yeah, I think a lot of people, when they look at St. Rita, they see those 2 losses. Don't think about the fact that they played down in East St. Louis against an out-of-state team, and then against one of the best teams in the state of Illinois. And so this is a very good team. You know, a team that people in 7A are definitely going to have to watch out for.
Absolutely. At number 8, Marist, their first appearance in the rankings. They probably, a lot of people said this is the 4th best team in this conference a couple weeks ago.
I know, I was one of them.
And their offense just blitzed through Carmel and JCA, and they're runner-up in that conference to Nazareth.
Yep, Marist is, I remember at the beginning of the year, I actually said, you know, I don't know how good they're going to be doing this year, and they definitely, you know, proved everybody wrong in a very, very tough conference, and because of that, they're definitely going to have a nice playoff run.
Woodworth, a season's worth of passing yards and passing touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. Number 7, they're back. Montini, back-to-back 5A champs, and they put it on Wheaton Academy 54-6, and it might get a little scary for the 5A teams.
Yeah, they got their quarterback back. Western Camp is going to be going for 5 touchdowns instead of 3 per game now. Montini, a team at the beginning of the year, kind of slowed down from injury. Now they're back. They're ready to go. Again, a big team that you're going to be seeing in 5A that's going to be having some dominance.
And maybe the 6A favorite, the Nazareth Roadrunners, our number 6 team, 8-1, 51-7 over St. Viator. They are primed for a big-time run.
Taking out teams left and right. Nobody was prepared for it. Nazareth, in a down 6A, they should definitely have a good run. Definitely should have a good run.
Number 5, the Brook.
The Brook.
42-17 over Lockport, and one of those teams you got to look at in 8A.
One team that we said is one of the most talented teams.
Maybe the most talented
team. The most talented team from on both sides of the ball. The thing is, can they put it together throughout the whole playoff run and make it to the finals?
Yeah, absolutely. That is going to be the big question. And that question arose because they lost to the number 4 team a couple weeks ago, Lincoln Way East, 42-7 over Joliet West. And, you know, 7A, they're a 1 seed.
Yep.
Opposite of Glenbard West.
Yeah, Lincoln Way East, with the coaching they have, with the history of that program, definitely a team you don't want to match up against at all, let alone early in the playoffs. One of the toughest teams from the beginning of the year, and, you know, rounding out at number 4, obviously, that says so.
Our number 3 team, JC Hilltopper, where you at? Maine South.
Maine South. This is the first time we did that. This is the first time we did that. Maine South.
What are we doing? This team's won 21 games in a row.
That is true, and they're ranked nationally according to some publication. Anyway, Maine South got dropped down to 3 behind our number 1 and 2 team, obviously. Not necessarily because that we think that they're bad. This is the level of competition that they're playing against.
Style points.
The style points.
Or lack thereof.
But again, with these top 3 teams, I mean, you can almost really shuffle them and don't count Maine South out in any way. They're a very dangerous team. Oh, yeah. Okay, especially with Eric Seals All-Star over there. You know,
Paul Preston.
Yeah, they can put up 200 on you.
Glenbard West, they started the year at number 2, I believe. I don't think they've moved.
They have not moved.
9-0, and you know, just what were they doing? They give up a touchdown to Downers North. God,
they got to give one up.
Yeah.
Let's give them something.
49-7. Again, this was sort of the pattern for them. And I think, going back to Maine South, this is sort of the difference between these 2 teams. Maine South seems to start out slow. Glenbard West starts out slow, but they don't give up any points doing it.
Exactly.
And the defense is the difference.
That's what makes it so hard for anybody who has to go up against Glenbard West, is the fact that their defense is so dominant. Yep. If you have a great defense, you're always in the game. Right. You know, so especially because I think their defense is going to be putting up some points, let alone. So
I was going to say, to beat the Hilltoppers, your defense may have to put up some
points. Might have to, because that might be your best chance in getting in the end zone. So Glenbard West, we'll be talking about them in our 7A predictions.
Number 1, by far, in my opinion, the most impressive performance throughout the regular season. We talk about how tough the schedule is, who they beat, and how The Loyola Ramblers up top, 34-7 over St. Rita, who we saw dominate Mount Carmel a week before, and they go out and just roll through St. Rita.
And that's the thing. Who they are, what conference they're in, how they've been playing against everybody. There's no doubt that you had to get them up there. With Malcolm Weaver back there and all the receivers that he's going to, it is just a dominant team right now.
Yeah. And the thing that's got to be scary about Loyola, and sort of what's got to be scary when you look at Marist and what they've done in their passing in the last couple of weeks, Illinois is a running football state.
Yep.
People don't have the talent in the secondary to cover elite passing games.
No.
That's why Westerkamp goes out and scores 3 touchdowns a week.
Yep. That's
why Malcolm Weaver goes out and chucks it for 300 yards every week. And that's why the past couple weeks you've seen Woodward go out and go for like 506 scores.
Yep.
And so if you can pass the ball, now you're going to have to do it in the elements.
Yeah.
But you're going to have a great chance to win a state title.
Definitely going to be cold.
So any overlying thoughts?
No, I just think some big moves this last week. This last week we'll be doing rankings. Definitely want to see where these 10 teams are when it comes to state championships.
And so we're gonna have a couple more shows this week here talking about the 4 biggest classes, 5A through 8A, previewing, making our picks for state champions here in Illinois, who will be crowned Thanksgiving weekend. You'll see it all the next time with Eric Seals. I am Skylar King. Come back and see it at IllinoisPrep.com.